We're at the midpoint of another year of uncertainty in the roofing industry, and there are at least a couple of issues that I think are important to talk about as we head into the second half of 2010. The first of those issues that we continue to deal with at NRCA has to do with the expansion and growth of the federal government and the impact that it's having on our industry. We're spending a lot of our time, a lot of our resources dealing with some of those issues. And we do it in a number of different ways. We do it certainly on the legislative front, where we've been involved with issues ranging from healthcare to immigration reform to cap and trade to a host of other initiatives that have been put on our agenda for us by the government. We also deal in the regulatory arena, and we have now the likelihood of new regulations for fall protection coming from OSHA, for dealing with lead paint coming from the Environmental Protection Agency, and a whole host of other regulations that all of our members need to be aware of. In addition to that, we work in the political environment. Our roof pack this year will contribute somewhere close to $400,000 probably to candidates looking for seats in Congress. And we are supporting those candidates who support the positions NRCA takes and the small business community takes. So a lot of activity going on this year, of course, in Washington, D.C., probably more important than ever before. In addition to that, while we have all of that change coming from Washington, D.C., we are also contending with changes in the marketplace. We still struggle through a difficult economy for the construction industry, but we do that at a time when we're seeing a host of new materials coming into the market, new technologies coming into the market, and we're trying to position NRCA in such a way that it can lead the industry through that change, make sure that there's always a role for the roofing contractor in particular, the roofing industry in general, in dealing with these changes that we're seeing. The biggest changes have to do, of course, with energy and the environment. So we're seeing changes in building codes, requiring more insulation on roofs, requiring other methods of energy conservation. We're seeing incentives for those things coming out of Washington, D.C. We're seeing the growth last year, about 16 to 18% growth in the use of vegetated roof systems, and we need to make sure that our industry maintains its stake in that arena. And then, of course, we're seeing growth in photovoltaic systems that are being installed on rooftops. And once again, there's a technology component to that. There's a legislative component to that, and there's an education and training component to that. And most recently, NRCA has been working with the Department of Energy. We've had meetings with Penn State University and others within the roofing industry trying to figure out the best way that we can position ourselves again to be not only information providers, but to be strategic leaders to make sure that the roofing industry maintains its position of leadership in all of those arenas. So it's a year of challenges, certainly. The first and foremost thing I know on most of our members' minds is getting work, making sure that their businesses remain successful in a difficult economy. Part of that survival mentality extends to making sure that we're contending with what's coming out of Washington, D.C. And then looking forward, the most important thing perhaps for all of us is making sure that we're able to direct and manage the change that's coming into our industry. So these are confusing times, these are uncertain times, but these are also exciting times, and you can be sure that NRCA is going to be at the front of all of that. Thank you.